Oh, hello, everybody. So I just want to share with everyone that we are live on Instagram and Facebook today. So I'm going to be looking here for Facebook and sort of not, in the direction of Instagram, but I still am with all of you. So we are here with the Collective Consciousness Project, our Freedom Friday. And this week we are in a conversation with Samir Janjua of the Men's Circle. And it's such a pleasure to have you, Samir. I'm so grateful that, we get to share what you're up to with the Men's Circle. I have such a deep love for men's work. I have not participated in any, and I know many men who have, and the benefits that they've received in their life and the access it's given them is like exponentially like amazing. So Jody Love and Targon, sorry, Jody, is here with us as well. So the way this works, Samir, is we have 4 questions for you. And we're going to start off, and it's going to like lead perfectly into you sharing about the men's group. So question number 1 is, tell me about your organization and the programs that you offer, or the, the offerings you have.
Yay, I'm so excited. First of all, really honored to be here. Dana, it's been so amazing co-creating with you and being on this journey as well in this other transformational program we're a part of with the team and Landmark. So I just wanted to put that in space. I really enjoyed getting related to you. I have a quick request. Can you go to your Instagram and just click like accept the Men's Circle so we can get that one live too?
Yes.
I don't know. I know. I didn't get my stand because I don't know.
That's okay, Jody.
It's all right.
Yeah, if you want to just participate in the live on the Facebook, we could do that too, Jody.
Yep, I see.
And then turn your volume down there too, Dana, on your phone.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, wait, so here. Okay.
This is great. Thank you, Samir's being so amazing. He's helping us go doing live on both.
Cool. I think that worked. Yeah.
That worked?
But I see both of you, and then
oh, yay.
I sent a request to join.
Fantastic. Okay.
Oh, there are people jumping on.
Yeah, so many people here. Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome, brother.
Wait, I requested to join. Dana, can you add me?
I can. Where do I do that? All right, let's see. Samir, just help me out. Everyone, thank you so much for your patience. We're dancing today because this is like a new platform for us. Samir's being generous. So Samir, where would I add that, love?
Did you see her request come in at the bottom? Like when you added me, is there the same one there for Jody?
No. Oh, wait, let's see. I don't see a request at the bottom anymore. There was one there and then it disappeared.
It was requested. Let's see.
All right. Well, Jody is part of the conversation. We're going to keep going. We're dancing today, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. Oh, wait, I found it. Yay. Oh, wait, no, I didn't.
Hey, Hurtado, welcome, brother. Good to see you.
All right. So everyone, we are going to keep going. Samir, I'm sorry, Jodes. I don't know where to do this. It's not like showing me any spot to do it anymore. I think I missed the window or something. So
I think you flipped your camera there, Dana, on the Instagram live. Flip your camera back.
I was pressing all the buttons.
I know. I pressed it again in case you see it.
You want to just try one more time there, Dana?
I don't see it.
All
okay.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just continue. Yay. It's all good. Perfect. So,
okay.
Would you present us to the question one more time?
I will. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Okay. So we have Samir Janjua here from the Men's Circle and Jody Targon. This is 4 questions with the collective on our Freedom Friday. So Samir, tell me about the Men's Circle, the programs that you offer, or the offering that you have for men out in the world.
Amazing. Yay. So what we are offering to men is a consistent place to circle up and take our masks down and be vulnerable and get things off of our chest and our mind that are really challenging, whether that's about our relationships, our purpose, our finances, any beliefs we have, any struggles, just like the things that are really hard for men to deal with, we offer a place for them to have that conversation, to release that, and also a place for men to receive wisdom from other men, other brothers, and a place for men to learn, to be heard, to be seen, to be surrounded by like-minded men in a confidential space that's sacred, that's kind of rare in society, where we're intentionally showing up to have a conversation on how do we become the men we've always wanted to be. And what that looks like right now is we have every Wednesday, so the first Wednesday, the third Wednesday, and the fourth Wednesday, so we take the second Wednesday off, we continuously circle up for 2 hours, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific on Zoom. So it's accessible around the world, Pacific time. And men are able to join this 2-hour meeting and be powerful, be vulnerable, give wisdom, receive wisdom, develop brotherhood, so that we can ultimately be the men we've always wanted to be. And that's our consistent offering we've had for an entire year now. And we've had over 150 individual men join these calls. Right now, our team is around 20 men. And typically it's about 10 to 20 men will show up to the call each time. And yeah, it's just a place to go deep, and a place to do the work, and a place to have these breakthroughs, and a place to give our word to other men and have them hold us accountable. And I've just seen so many men transform inside of the circle. I've seen them release a lot. I've seen men get wisdom and then change things about their careers. I've seen men let go of things in their past. My dad has been circling up with us for like almost a year now. My cousin is now circling up. That's been a huge shift in my personal life around my relationship to my father, and just watching how he's changed and how he shows up to meetings with my brother and I, because he's in Pakistan, my brother's in Florida, I'm here in California. My dad will show up to meetings now with like an agenda. He'll be keeping time. He'll be asking questions. And it's just, I'm like, me and my brother both like, oh my gosh, like, Dad, you've just transformed. And I truly believe that's a direct result of him continuously circling up. And another beautiful thing is when my dad's in the space, he's just able to give wisdom and provide that fatherly figure. And I think that's another thing in society that us younger men crave, is having an elder in the space to get acknowledgement from, to receive wisdom from, to be heard by, to be seen by, to be loved by, to be told that we're doing a good job by. You know, I think it's a thing that a lot of men really truly crave, is an elder man telling us that. And it's actually incredible, the closeness that Zoom can bring for us inside of this work, and the depth, the vulnerability, the things that we can really share with each other in a space. And we also do things like breath work. We do guided visualizations, meditations. We have challenges. So yeah, I just wanted to deliver that. That's what's present for us.
I love that. You know, one thing that I'm hearing too is I love your father, or that older men, like the elders, are joining, because I think sort of in our, you know, culture, like that elder, you know, energy is kind of, you know, faded. And so I love that it's like the men's circles bringing that back, because our, you know, as people, as men, women, we get older, like we're so wise, we have so much to offer, and there's so much like juice there. And so I love hearing that you are, you know, and it gives, like, I'm sure your dad, like this whole new purpose, like he gets to be an elder and like give back like all this knowledge that he's, you know, acquired in his life. So that's beautiful. Okay, so I have another question for you. I love the men's circle. Jody, chime in at any point. What are you building with that, with your men's circle? What are you creating with that? Like long-term, big picture.
I love it. Well, I've been told by some other elder men, like men's work is a long game. And I'm really committed to continuing to innovate in this space and bring this work to these new technologies. Because one thing that's interesting, I'll just say, like in the past, traditionally, men's work has been in person, circling up around a fire. The elders coming in, initiating the young men, going up the mountain, coming back. The boys are now men. And I'm just present to the times right now with technology, with COVID, with isolation, with it's challenging sometimes to meet in person. So I would say what we're building right now is bringing men's work to men through technology, so that men can have the practical tools, that men can have the brotherhood, that they can have the connection, and that they can still have a powerful experience to become the men they've always wanted to be.
I love that. Jody, you want to share anything?
No, I love that too, Samir. I'm just wondering what inspired you, because I also have had a women's circle that I've facilitated for the last few years. And I find that there's a lot more of that available for women, because it's maybe more in our wheelhouse. So I'm just curious, like, what inspired you to start this? Like, what drove you to do this?
Yeah. And so Jody's question, by the way, on IG Live is what inspired men's work? Like what inspired me to continue like lighting this torch? And I heard you say that you've also circling up with women and that it's a little more prevalent in the community of women to circle up and do this kind of work. I would say for me, about 3 years ago, a man, one of my best friends, looked at me and he said, "Hey, there's something called the Men's Weekend. And I think it's really going to change your life." And at that time, I was really I was having a lot of challenges in my life. Like I was in a romantic partnership with this really powerful woman. And I was living nomadically here in Los Angeles, kind of bouncing from room to guest house to place. I was just getting started with my photography. I'd only been in LA for 2 years. So it was really challenging to have clients. So I was financially struggling. I was like $10,000 in credit card debt. I didn't really have a purpose at the time. I was searching for it. I was with this really powerful woman who wanted me to show up powerfully, but I was so in my head because I was looking for my purpose. So I wasn't able to be as present with her. I didn't have as many tools as I have now. I didn't do the men's weekend or the men's work that I've been doing now. I hadn't done any landmark, any of the communication courses. I didn't have any of those tools. And I was really struggling. And he looked me in the eyes and said, "Hey, there's something called the men's weekend. And I would like for you to consider it. Do you want to do it?" And I just looked him in the eyes and I was like, "You know what? I trust you. Like, yes, I'm in." And I really made that decision based off of who he was being. Like he was so powerful in his career. He was so confident. The way he was showing up for his wife was just really, I was looking up to him in so many ways. He was earning a lot of cash. And I was like, man, like he's in really good shape. And I was like, what is it about you that has you be this way? I was really inspired by him. So I was like, whatever you're doing, I'm in, so that was really what the moment, that defining moment where I just trusted another man and got into the space. And I can see my dad wants to say something on IG Live. Perhaps, Dad, maybe type your question so we can address that. And from that moment, I continuously circled up. I kept circling up with men because I didn't know at the time, but I was really operating from a place of like, someone says we have a little bit of an echo.
know. I think it's because, give me 1 second.
Yeah, I'm not sure why we have an echo. Maybe it's because we're on IG Live and the Facebook. Whoops.
Okay.
Hope it's not too echoey. I don't know how to adjust that. Maybe that's like a
I
tech
think it's
concern.
because my phone, I can't turn the volume all the way off. It's
Yeah.
not letting me. So
I'm the same thing for me. Yeah. Maybe we'll just continue and we'll figure it out next time.
yeah, we will.
And just to come back to the question, hope it's not too echoey, guys. If someone says it's better now. I kept circling up and I didn't know at the time that I was really desiring brotherhood. I was really desiring a tribe of men that I could call my brothers, that I could look up to, that I could learn from, men that were successful in their businesses, men who were also in marriages I could learn from, men who were single that I could learn from, men that were elder whose fathers had died, sons and children had passed away. So I could learn the wisdom from that. Like every time I step into a circle, I basically learn something new from another man, just in what they're saying and how they're being, the wisdom that they're giving. And I've really just been seeing results. Like when it comes down to it, like so many areas of my life have improved and enhanced because I keep circling up with men, because I'm like choosing to be developed by these men, that I'm choosing to step up and speak. Because in the beginning, I was very self-conscious. I was like, I want to look good. I don't want to say anything wrong. I want these elder men to think I'm doing a good job. And that still shows up in my life. So I was very hesitant to even start speaking up in these circles. And eventually after 6 months, I started stepping up and speaking up more and like really contributing. And from that point, there was a lot of men were pouring into me because I was stepping up. And I'm just, like I said, I think I'm seeing the results in my life, like whether it's my, the projects I'm up creatively are like, they're kind of taking shape, they're having color, or the business that I'm up to is actually like improving and enhancing. And I'm seeing a lot of results with the customers. My relationships with my family, like I mentioned to you, my father, my brother, that's improved dramatically. The way I'm showing up in partnership romantically, I'm able to show up powerfully, be very present, go to my men and get what I need taken care of from them, and come back to my partner in a powerful way where I can be centered and grounded. So yeah, I just see results, and I'm like, okay, I've got these tools, I've had these lessons, like I'm a stand to keep delivering this and contributing and really holding a torch to like continue this legacy. Because I don't think there's enough men out there who are role models, who are shining the light, who are guiding the way, who are showing men and inviting men, welcoming them into this space so that we can really transform the culture in our society.
That's beautiful. You know, I really appreciate what you said about also too, like your journey and how you wouldn't speak up at first. And it's like, you know, you're now at this place where you know, it's, you know, I get the looking good thing, by the way, we all have it. And at some point, it's like we give it up for freedom. We give it up for full self-expression. And I think it's such a beautiful, you know, journey that you've shared. And I think it gives people access, especially, you know, obviously men access to what's possible, because really, you know, it can be intimidating to be in a circle with these wise men and not want to say anything. And then, you know, sticking with it and then getting to this place where, okay, I'm here. You know, what am I doing? Like, it's time. I got to speak up. I got to, you know, get something from this and give back and contribute. And so I love that part of it. Cause I mean, even that's not just like a men's journey, right? That's like all of our journey. You know, it's, you know, when we're on team, there's men and women, and all of us go through that moment where it's, you know, at some point where we get to that place where, okay, you know, I can't not share anymore. Cause if I don't, and I just keep, you know, staying quiet in the back of the room, I'm not going to grow. I'm not going to expand. I'm not going to get access to what I want to create in my life. So that's amazing. So thank you so much for sharing that.
And actually, I have a quick question for the both of you ladies, actually, real quick, just to dance in the conversation.
Yeah.
Do both of you have sons?
Yes.
I'm just curious, like, what do you see is available for your sons with access to men's work, with access to them circling up with elders, them having access to this kind of work? I'm just curious if you could speak about that. I'm curious, like, what do you see is available, like the future for your sons?
Do you want to take this one, Jody, and then I'll go?
Sure. Well, my son's only 11, but I would say there's not enough.
I'm going to turn it up so Insta can hear. Go ahead.
I would say though, both Dana and our kids go to the same school, which is a Waldorf school. So I do think that there is more of a consciousness. In fact, they have like a knighting ceremony at a certain grade. They do it for boys and girls, and they do focus on letting these kids be individuals and to bring out what's, you know, most important for boys and girls and humans and spirits. So, but there isn't a lot, I mean, as much as I would like. And so, you know, I did a moon circle for both my girls. I have two girls as well, when they turned, you know, when they had their first menstrual cycle. So like now in my mind, I'm like, okay, what can we create for my son? Because I think it's really important. And I think that rite of passage and meeting boys' needs in that way is really important.
And I'm curious, like, why do you think it's so important for these young men to have this rites of passage?
I think like you, I think that there's a longing in us, like, because we've become so disconnected from the way it used to be around the fire, like community, storytelling, you know, connection. We've become so disconnected from that. And I think if we're really honest, that everybody has that little part of them that really wants that. Some of us are just more aware of that, like longing, and go do something about it. But I think it's there. So I think it's really important to have, you know, and the wisdom, like you said, through the generations and stuff. We've gotten really disconnected from that. We kind of, you know, stick, you know, elder people in homes, and we don't have that, like, you know, family togetherness the way we used to. So I think it's really important, especially because also, like I said, there's so much more available, I think, for the young women now. There's an awareness now with like moon circles and all that, but the boys kind of get left out.
Totally agree.
I want to speak on this too, because, I have 3 boys, and my eldest son, actually, at one point, there's this place up in Washington. There's an organization called Rite of Passage Journeys, and they take the boys into on a backpacking excursion for 2 weeks. I think there's even longer ones, and they circle up, they do all kinds of ceremonial type, activities. And it's really like has deep intention around like stepping into, having that rite of passage journey from like, boyhood into manhood. And, it is something that I had to really search for. And I think that, my son, he really got so much out of it. And it was such a really fantastic experience for him. And I am also grateful for the Waldorf education, because like in high school, it's not with just men, but they do circle up. They have counsel. So they get that practice of like, listening and, also sharing. And it's beautiful. I really do think that having something for boys that's a little bit more consistent would be fantastic. The benefit of that, is huge, because when they're going from being a boy to a man at this point in time, there isn't really that like rite of passage that happens where someone's like, it's kind of like, okay, you're 18, you're a man. That's not what being like a man is, So I think defining that, is a fantastic opportunity for them, and also to step into their lives and into their masculine energy in a way that's really empowering.
Beautiful. So, I mean, one thing I'm hearing you say is like this initial rites of passage experience is very powerful. And I can speak for myself. I know for me, it was, when I did my men's weekend, which is just one form of rites of passage, that was, I say to people, it was my initiation into becoming a man. What's interesting too, that I'm noticing is like, we've kind of lost as a society ways to initiate men. Like we're actually catching up. We're initiating men that are like in their 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s. And we have all these men to catch up to initiate. And we're just missing the boat on initiating like young men too, right? It's like we have so many men to initiate, we're just catching up. So it's like, I'm a huge stand for every organization and circle that initiates men and women, or whatever gender people want to identify with, because I think it's such a pivotal moment. It's like a defining moment in someone's life where they just step into this new way of being. And I see an opportunity, like you said earlier, around consistent like integration from that initial initiation, like integrating the lessons we learned, integrating those ways of being, like consistently circling up to develop those lifelong bonds for me and the masculine identifying beings, to really like have our men to say, these are my men, they got my back. For women, we've got our women, we have our, like, those are the people we can really trust, get taken care of. So I love what you guys are up to. And I love that your sons are into this kind of thing. That's really exciting. And one thing I'm getting present to is like, oh, what would it be like if we held a monthly circle up for the young men, like something that they were invited to, that they could join. And perhaps it's hybrid. Maybe one time it's online for people who can't make it, or there might be some distancing. And then maybe there's another circle it's in person, right? Where they get that in-person sensation feeling. So I'm just having these new possibilities in this conversation now. So I wanted to voice that.
I love that. I hope you do, so I can send my son. But you did, Samir, I wanted to ask, because you did kind of bring up, I don't want to limit this to like heteronormative, like boy, girl thing, right? So how do you address that? Because obviously, there's non-binary and all people identify all different ways. So has that come up in your circle, or is that something that you address?
Yeah, isn't that beautiful? Like, I think that comes with the this day and age. People are identifying in gender fluid, non-binary, and it's very new, especially to a lot of the circles I'm a part of who've kind of been traditional. So I think this is an exciting time for anyone that's circling up with men or women, because we're innovating. Like I know for us, we're really open, and like the way we invite people into the circle is any masculine identifying being is welcome into this space, such that we can have a conversation and hold that energy in a sense, right? And for example, this isn't confidential, but one of the men in one of the circles is a transgender man, was a woman, chose to become a man. And I literally had no idea. I was like, wow, like until I had a conversation with that person. We also have some gay men in our circles who just choose to have a partner in that sense. I've circled up with another man recently who is another being who is gender fluid. So it's just very interesting kind of being in this dynamic. I will say I tend to see the ones that stick around and continue to circle up have been the ones that really identify in their masculine, and that's the energy they choose to kind of embody. But we're welcoming like all beings into the space, as long as for us to keep it kind of sacred with the men's work, masculine identifying. So it's a very interesting conversation that I'm super open to. And I think I have a lot to learn inside the space. But that's pretty much where we're at in the moment.
That's great.
Thank you. All right. So are you ready for the third question we have is, how does your program support, what you're building? I think you've really elaborated on that in such a beautiful way. And I think that, what's so funny is your dad really wants to get on. I'm wondering, like, should we send him the link and he can join at least on Facebook? He can jump into the Zoom. He seems to want to like share something so sweet. He says, I love you, my son.
I love you too, Dad.
So the fourth question is, what is your impossible promise? So for me, with the collective, my impossible promise is that transformational programs, transformational work, expansion work is like household. It's something that we do to enhance our lives. It's something that everybody knows about. It's something that everybody participates in, just so that we can contribute to one another, contribute to ourselves in just a way that, gives us access to being who we really are, and fully self-expressed. And so that's my impossible promise, that like everybody, it's like what we do is just another like enhancement to life.
I love it. I'm seeing like, you get transformation, we all get transformation in a box delivered to your home. No, I'm just kidding. No, but I love it. I think it's so beautiful what you guys are up to. Like, I'm hearing like elevating the consciousness. Like I'm hearing like making transformation cool is what I'm really hearing you guys are up to. And I'm such a stand for that. I'm such a stand. And I'll say this is so beautiful because what we're up to and what I believe is so in alignment with what you beautiful women are up to. It's like the game I'm playing in one of the teams I'm on it's called Making Men's Work Cool. So that's the name of it, right? It's just like, let's just make this cool, right? Because I know there's something about that. Like if it's cool, a lot of people are going to do it, right? So I think that's a cool like saying. I'm just going to throw that in there. And I think the impossible promise is giving men the tools and the brotherhood to become the men they've always wanted to be, so that we can truly transform the masculine culture in our society.
I love that.
Yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm.
What's your by when?
Of what? Doing that?
Yeah.
Well, like I said earlier, I think this is like, I've sat in a few plant ceremonies and I've just had this like download that it was like, this is a path for you to follow. Like, just keep going. So what I got present to is I'm just going to light the torch and hold it and circle with the men and just keep walking in this direction. I don't know where we're going. I have an idea of where we're going. I don't know what it's going to look like. But at the moment, my intuition says, just keep going till the day I transition, so that's my by when. It's just to the very end. And I'm just committed to the process. I'm like, let's just figure it out and let's just keep having conversations and doing the work.
I love that. Yes, I agree. So, so can you share, how can people find you? How can they find the men's circle? If men want to participate, can they get in touch? How would they get in touch with you? Can they private message you if they're not, if they want to like kind of ease into something? What's there? Tell us how to find you.
Yeah. So the men's circle on Instagram is a great place to see a lot of content. To also click the link in the bio. You'll always see the most updated invitation to circle up with us. And we offer men to circle up complimentary in the beginning. Just get a taste of it, get a feel, like see what it's like to circle up with men. And then if you have any questions, you can DM us. We'll respond. You can DM me, Samir_Janjua. We're also hosting some in-person things locally here in Southern California. We're kind of innovating, expanding as COVID is kind of opening up in a sense. Additionally, I just want to plant a seed. We're considering putting together some digital and in-person retreats in the future. We're considering some deep dive 8-week kind of immersive acceleration programs. So we've got some things in the mix. We're also having conversations on Clubhouse, which is like a new thing too. So we're just kind of dancing in all these ways. So I would say that's the easiest way to just get in touch.
Oh, Clubhouse is great. Okay, so if you don't know what that is, research it. It's awesome. It's live conversations about everything you can imagine. That's fantastic. My request is when you have this program, this 8-week or whatever program, let's get back on, let's share about it, because that sounds beautiful. And I'd love to be able to get that out to as many people as possible, as many men as possible. And by the way, women, yes, this particular, this is geared towards men, but we all have men in our lives. So this is an opportunity. If you have a man in your life that you think this would be fantastic for, get in touch with Samir, or even you can reach out through Jody and I and the collective, and we can, direct you. So Samir, thank you so much for this conversation. Is there anything else you want to say, Jody or Samir, before we conclude today?
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed hearing your perspective. And now I want to run out and get every man I know and send them to you. So
I love that. I just want to say, really honored to have this conversation, to spend time with you, beautiful women, and also anyone that's joined in on the Facebook Live or the Instagram. Like, thank you for your time. Your attention is so valuable to us, and we don't take that lightly. And I just want to acknowledge both of you women for your stand to elevate the awareness in our society and raise the consciousness, and cope and collaborate and partner with other individuals that are up to things. Like, I really get who you are being in this world and the contribution you're out to make. And it's really inspiring. And I'm just such a yes. Like, I'm just going to keep sending people to you that are like looking for transformation. I'm like, just come to this organization, and like, they're going to take care of you.
It's definitely true. Thank you so much for that acknowledgement, Samir. I totally appreciate it. And yes, with regard to that, if you're looking to do some sort of expansion work, feel free to reach out to the collective. We're matchmakers. That's essentially right. For transformation. So if there's something that you want to really enhance in your life, or you want to create for yourself, and you're stuck, or you're not quite sure how to access, what there is to access to have these things happen for yourself, reach out to us. We can connect you with the work that's going to make the difference for you. So thank you so much. And Samir, I acknowledge you for really being a stand for men, for being a stand for them, circling together, supporting one another, creating that level of community, or giving men the space to really step into their masculinity in ways maybe that they haven't had an opportunity to experiment with. It's just like a safe space for men to really try all these ways of being on and finding their power. So I really am just so appreciative that you are making that available to men in our culture, society, world. Thank you.
Yeah, Samir, I just really fast want to say thank you as well, because what you're doing is so needed. And I would say it transcends the masculine, though. So you're really helping men, but get in touch with their humanity, their heart, their grounded presence in the world. And it's in the framework of the masculine, but it transcends that. So it's really necessary. So thank you.
Thank you for that.
So I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining us. We're going to put this up on the collective for you to watch later if you missed parts of it. Next week for Freedom Friday, we have Kate Austin and Paul Green, the Freedom Alchemists. They're amazing. They have a program that just will rock your world. And so that will be next week, 9 a.m., same bat time, same bat place. And just thank all of you for supporting Samir in the work that he's doing, supporting the collective, and, have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Thank you.